The 2017 to 2024 Honda X-ADV has sold an astonishing 76,000 units globally, and the firm say it was their second bestseller in Europe last year, and the fourth biggest selling adventure bike overall. Not bad for a unique blend of adventure styling and maxi-scooter convenience that has traditional British bikers scratching their heads while our Italian, French, and Spanish counterparts snap up X-ADVs as fast as Honda can build them, using them as a kind of ubiquitous urban GS. For 2025, the updated X-ADV 750 refines the leftfield concept with a few but very welcome improvements. Its low-revving 58 bhp 745cc parallel twin motor, shared with the North Carolina 750X and new. For 2025 Forza 750 maxi-scoot remains unchanged, as does its low-slung frame, Showa suspension, Nissin brakes, and 17 inches front and 15 inches rear wire-spoked rims. Updates are limited to a smoother and more manageable DCT auto gearbox at low speed, the addition of cruise control, a reshaped front profile with new LED projector headlights, a deeper, comfier seat, new clocks and switchgear, and a revised screen mechanism, now adjustable with one hand. Ride quality and brakes. Brakes, suspension, and wheels remain the same for the 2025 X-ADV, engineered for conventional motorcycle-style performance rather than be compromised by the X-ADV maxi-scoot design, which partly explains the X-ADV 17 inches front and 15 inches rear wheel sizes. The 17 inches front helps confer a traditional handling and steering dynamic. Tires are 120/70ths and 160/60ths Bridgestone Adventure Cross Tourer AX41T. Front suspension is as before Showa's 41mm SFFCA USD forks with adjustable rebound on the right fork leg and preload adjusters on both. A Showa shock lives at the rear, with adjustable preload only via an included C-spanner. Wheel travel on maxi-scoots is usually limited by the nature of the design of the bike, which has implications for ride quality. But the X-ADV boasts generous 150mm wheel travel front and rear, as much as a conventional road bike. However, the X-ADV canted forward engine dictates either a long wheelbase or a short swing arm, or a compromise of both, which then potentially impacts steering or ride quality. Ride quality. The Honda's general handling dynamic is pure motorcycle. Steering is stable in long corners, and the bike rolls into tighter turns and heads for the apex with a steady sports tourer roll thanks to the X-ADV low center of gravity. But it's also nimble enough to hustle around traffic with a decent steering lock. Although the bike's length and width gives pause squeezing through gaps in urban traffic, slimmer scooters have an easier time. Suspension springing is soft and gives a floaty feel to the ride quality over smoother roads, and damping balances the bike well under acceleration and braking. But on bumpier back roads and over uneven surfaces, the X-ADV passes more chop and chatter through to the rider, and big bumps and potholes can be jarring. It could be as much as the way you're sitting, with feet flat on the floorboards, as much as anything. Brakes are Nissin 4-pot radial calipers on 296mm discs with linked ABS as per scooter style. The rear brake is on the left handlebar, and it only takes a few seconds to reprogram your brain to stop trying to use it as a clutch. In use, it's perfectly natural to balance braking with both levers at the same time, and the Honda's ABS means you can't lock either wheel. So you can use as much lever pressure as you need to haul up the X-ADV not inconsiderable 237 kilograms. Engine. The X-ADV is powered by Honda's 745cc SOHC 270 degrees parallel twin, which also powers the North Carolina 750X and Forza 750 maxi-scoot. It started life as the 2012 NC700, when it was said to be derived from half a Honda Jazz car engine, and unusually in modern motorcycling, it's undersquare with 80mm piston stroke longer than its 77mm bore is wide. This dictates a low rev limit, which means the engine is tuned to produce peak power and torque at lower RPM in the X-ADV case, a claimed 57.8 bhp at 6,750 revolutions per minute, and 59 pound-feet at 4,750 revolutions per minute. The relatively tall motor is canted forward in a low-slung steel tube frame, which allows the X-ADV to have a semi-step-through look. Engine performance is gently perky rather than outright funky. The bike bustles forward with enough vim to scoot in and out of overtakes, easily keeping pace with traffic on any road including motorways. It's never a thrill, but it's always rapid enough with a chug that turns into a whistle as the engine revs out. But there can't be many X-ADV owners who wouldn't fancy just a bit more zasp in the engine department, and X-ADV with the performance of Honda's other 750 parallel twin, the 90 bhp Hornet would be deeply entertaining and just as practical. Powerful drive is passed through Honda's DCT dual-clutch transmission system, which allows for almost seamless automatic gear changes up and down, making the engine impossible to stall and doing away with a clutch lever. A pair of up and down finger-operated paddles on the left bar allow either fully manual clutchless gear changes or for overriding the auto gear selection. All the rider has to do is remember to choose a drive mode before pulling off. For 2025, Honda have modified very low-speed operation of the DCT system, making first gear engagement and clutch operation smoother and giving it a more natural feel. They've done it by adding an algorithm-based element to AQ calculations that were previously based solely on a clutch oil pressure sensor. It allows the AQ to more accurately manage the automatic clutch and give the rider the impression of nuanced and finessed low-speed control over the bike. The upgrade is especially noticeable pulling away from standstill, riding at walking pace, and performing first gear U-turns. The previous X-ADV could be hesitant and stutter, as if clutch operation couldn't quite match speed and throttle demands. In normal cornering, DCT is so smooth it usually doesn't upset the bike if it shifts mid-corner. But on rare occasions, say sweeping into a U-turn, the bike can drop from second gear into first and cause a momentary unnerving stumble mid-U. Reliability and build quality. With an understressed engine and Honda's usual excellent fit and finish quality, the X-ADV should give no problems with durability in long-term ownership. Despite its technical complexity, DCT has proved itself sturdy and pretty much unbreakable over the last 15 years, so you'll not have a problem with the transmission. Similarly, mechanical issues with the NC750 parallel twin are almost unheard of. The only potential for problems will come from owner neglect. Even the hardiest of finishes will struggle to survive a British winter unaided. In terms of quality feel, if the new X-ADV doesn't quite capture the glamorous luster of its predecessors, it'll be because the color schemes for 2025 aren't the most exciting. A matte gray, white or black options are understated. Honda UK aren't importing the Goldfinch yellow version of the X-ADV, which is much brighter and more interesting. Perhaps they're saving it for a special occasion. Equipment. Equipment spec is where the rest of the 2025 X-ADV updates appear. Working from front to back, the Honda has a new face. The front end of the fairing has been reworked to provide a more angular but also a more coherent look. LED projectors replace stacked headlights, and a daytime running light strip above incorporates the indicators for the first time on a production bike. The X-ADV's adjustable screen is now operable by the left hand only. Previously, it needed two hands to move up or down, meaning it was only practical at standstill. Now a simple clip frees the screen, and a knob lifts it up or down. The size of the screen remains the same, as does its range of adjustment. In use, the system works well, and although the X-ADV sibling Forza 750 has a new electric screen for 2025, in practice it's quicker and easier to use the X-ADV's manual setup.